What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of F1 2017 Career Mode. We're here for round number 16, the Japanese Grand Prix. Don't be alarmed if you feel like the episode number and the round number doesn't correspond. A little while ago, we skipped over Baku because we were simply way too competitive. I'm glad to report that those days are long gone, and we can actually go through races and be fairly competitive. So if you enjoy seeing races where we're actually on the pace, I recommend you go check out the last one. It was an absolute cracker. But here we are in Japan. Always feel like I do fairly well here in career mode episodes, and I feel like that has continued into this episode. Ignore the finishing position for practice too. That's, well, it's always impossible to be competitive in practice. Thank goodness that the track rubbers up and we can really start to flourish on Saturday, but especially Sunday. But we got up enough resource points, 944 of them to be exact, enough to put in another engine upgrade, and that'll be coming our way potentially for the US Grand Prix in the next episode. So that should be pretty cool. So heading into this round, we may change out the gearbox. It is very line ball, above 50%, so we might see some problems here or there, but as we head into qualifying, hopefully it's okay.
Welcome to the only figure of 8 track on the F1 calendar. We're here at Suzuka for qualifying today ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix.
Okay, we know it's going to be a struggle to get out of this session, but give it your best shot.
We are certainly going to be giving it everything in this qualifying session here for Japan. We are so close, honestly, 1 or 2 points away from the purple zone of being the first team driver for McLaren. The reason why I bang on about it so much is because if you're the first team driver, you get additional bonuses for resource points, and that is going to be a massive turning point for us in the context of our career mode. It can make the difference between getting an upgrade 1 race earlier or having to wait another week or two, which is a massive difference. But as we head out on track for our second run in qualifying, we encounter a bit of a problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
So as you can see here on the slow-mo, we go to brake to start our next flying lap, and you can see there we missed 6th gear. So that means in the middle of qualifying we had an issue with the gearbox, and it's not synced up, or it's just something electronically is not working properly, and we don't have 6th gear for the moment. Now, when you're trying to get the most out of the car, when you're needing to get out of qualifying 1, we're back to full qualifying by the way, you need all the gears, and by missing 6th gear, it just made things really awkward going through that first sector. We're actually up on our previous best time, but every time we went from 5th straight to 7th, the engine would bog down a heap, and we just lose too much time. So, unfortunately, I had to abort that lap. Even though it was a really good opening to the lap, I just had to come in and, see if I could either fix the problem or get a new gearbox. Unfortunately, not enough time in the session to change the gearbox. We need at least 10 to 12 minutes. So I thought I'd go out again and see if the problem would rectify itself. Thank goodness it did. And we got 6th gear back as we go for our final run here. You can see we're pretty touch and go with our previous best. And I was my confidence was shaken a little bit because I didn't know when exactly I would lose 6th gear and if I'd have to account for that with my driving, but I just tried to drive on as best as what I could. Going through the 3rd sector now, we made up a couple of tenths through the final chicane, and we will improve to go, I'm not sure, it's a 2/10 improvement. Can we jump Alonso though? No, it's 18th place. So we were looking really good at the start of that session. 15th or 16th after the first run. We lost the entirety of the second run there due to the gearbox timing issue. And then in the third, I'm not going to say, well, I'd say I was a little bit distracted and just a little off my game because I was anticipating the gearbox going at any moment. But that's qualifying. Outqualified by Fernando by 3/10, and I think we missed the team target as well, which is a little bit disappointing. So that's going to set us back a few points in the team standing. But as we head into the race, I really don't want to deal with any kind of gearbox issues. We've only done 4 of the mandatory 6 races, so even if we continue into the next one, There's no guarantees that we won't miss gears or whatever, so I just thought I'd take the penalty now, and because we're going to be starting at the back with the fresh gearbox, we may as well take our 8th engine as well, since we will be at the back, and because of that, we're going to go all guns blazing with a brand new power unit, brand new gearbox as well, in order to get up through the field and possibly in the points. Yeah, it's our only shot.
And all this will be happening under the watchful eye of Anthony Davidson, who joins me for today's race. And assuming the weather holds, where do you expect to see the action unfolding today, Ant?
Well, most of the time, passing here is limited very much into the final chicane, or maybe down into turn 1 if you get a good run and some assistance from DRS. But if we're lucky, we might see a bit of bravery into the hairpin, a place that Kamui Kobayashi certainly made his own in the 2010 Grand Prix on his way to a very impressive 7th place. And as you say, Crofty, this is all assuming that the conditions hold out. We know how quickly the clouds can come in here at Suzuka, and if they do, all bets will be off.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Lance Stroll yesterday puts him on pole position, edging out Roman Grosjean, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Kvyat, Hülkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, and Raikkonen, Sainz, Ocon, Palmer, and Marcus Ericsson, Hamilton, Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, and Wehrlein, Verstappen, Massa, and Mclaren, and Sergio Perez. Alonso and Daniel Ricciardo rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
What a crazy grid we have for the start of this Japanese Grand Prix. I took a full power unit and a fresh gearbox, yet I'm still only, what, 17th place on the grid? So the guys behind me, even though they out-qualified me, they must have taken on about 100 power units and God knows how many gearboxes as well, to end up behind a McLaren Honda who's taken a fresh full power unit. I don't really understand that, but hey, I'll take it. We're going to be 17th for the start of this race, and hopefully we can move forward if we get a good start. What's going on here with the grid cycle? Am I actually going to start 10th? I'm actually going to start 10th. That is so weird. That again, another glitch, but here we go, ready for the start of the race. 5 red lights, and away we go. We've taken a fresh power unit, and now we're starting 10th. That's unbelievable. I can't even... I'm speechless. But we've got to get on with the race because, yeah, otherwise we're going to lose all of that, you know, momentum that... Oh, I don't know. This just has me speechless, but... Away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. We lost the spot to Valtteri Bottas. This grid is absolutely jumbled up so much. It's like a reverse grid race. We've got Lance Stroll at the front. No, actually, Romain Grosjean is leading now. He got in front of Stroll after his amazing start. We've got a Sauber behind us who originally started inside the top 10. So I don't know, you know, if the whole grid got shuffled due to the penalties, if... everyone else missed out on where they were starting as well. That is so weird. I wonder if anyone else just got vaulted up the order due to the glitch on the formation lap. But either way, we find ourselves inside the top 10, pressuring Jolyon Palmer with Lewis Hamilton, one of the front runners, right behind us as well. What a start to this race this has been. We just got to press on. I mean, in all fairness, I probably could have pulled off to the side and let everyone go, but that would have completely ruined my race. You know, sometimes we get unlucky with the game, and you know how we get our upgrades, you know, turned down or they fail, you know, constant amount of times in the season. Now we've had a bout of good luck, so today I want to make the most of it as we carry on to lap 3. The DRS has been enabled, and now both the Mercedes have overtaken us. Valtteri Bottas getting a bit wild there on the exit of turn 1, but he manages to hold on to the position briefly as we go back up the inside into the hairpin. The AI seem to be very slow in this section of the track, especially when there is a lot of traffic. Again, we went up the inside of Bottas, nothing really happened there. He out-dragged us on the exit of the hairpin as well. Cheeky little block there, trying to keep Jolyon Palmer behind. I wanted to make the most of this start, and yes, I think it was a bit cheeky, but you guys have been saying I haven't been defending hard enough on straight, so I want to make an effort to at least be a bit more edgy, a bit more racy in these moments where we have the potential to score points. Jolyon Palmer runs wide through turn 1, and we both, myself and Vettel, force him out wide as we go through turn 1. So Jolyon bottles it, and myself and Vettel are the beneficiaries here on lap 7, as a few more people have made their first stops in this Grand Prix, promotes us up a couple of places. Yellow flag behind us. Not too sure who retired. I think it might have been one of the Salvers. We'll have to wait and see though. It's a little bit distracting to see it go from yellow to green in terms of the cautions, but we'll press on. It's Marcus Ericsson out of the Grand Prix. Could we see a safety car? I think we are. Yes, safety car has been deployed, and unfortunately it didn't get out on track in time to catch the leader. So we're all going to have to press on for another lap before we catch up to the safety car. But the timing of this has come at a really good time. Now we can potentially dive into the pits and fit on a set of mediums to go to the end of the race. This is an incident with... Wow! This is an incident with Max Verstappen and the safety car. The safety car has just parked it on the apex. Max Verstappen is out of the Grand Prix. He's run into the back of the Oh my goodness, I can't even talk. He's run into the back of the safety car, and then one of the Williams has followed him in as well, and then Daniel Ricciardo comes out of nowhere and hits them both as well. Wow. Can you believe that? The safety car turns into the danger car. Felipe Massa is out too. That was an avoidable incident, I reckon. You could have gone around the outside there, pal. And here comes Daniel Ricciardo. He had all the time in the world to react, but unfortunately he was probably, I don't know, looking at his smile in the mirrors or looking down at the wheel, because that is just very, very, very bad to crash like that. That is unbelievable. I've never seen an incident like this where the AI just flat out drive into the safety car and end their race. That is unbelievable. Surprised that the safety car didn't take any damage. That maybe they are. Maybe they have to limp back to the pits and we have to get the medical car out to you know, keep this field under control while the safety car gets fixed up in the pits. That is so weird. I've never seen anything like that. That belongs in a F1 glitches video, let alone a career mode video where this is supposed to be true to real life. But either way, the safety car is out here on lap 8. We're going to be diving into the pits now to fit on the medium tyres. We were scheduled to come in on lap 12, so it's slightly earlier than what we normally go for in terms of a pit stop, but I think we should be fine. As long as we can circulate around for a few laps behind the safety car, we won't really lose too much in terms of tyre wear. And by that logic, we should be able to make it to the end of the race without making any more stops. Now, if the AI in front of us as well don't take advantage of this safety car, which I don't think they are, we could gain a pit stop over the rest of the field and put ourselves in a remarkable chance of getting in the points. So this race has just gone from 0 to well, as if the start wasn't bad enough with the glitch. We've now had people just drive into the safety car. This race is just off the rails.
The drivers we're fighting here are Vettel and Verline.
So the team has set us some pretty high expectations. They want us to beat one of the best cars on the grid, if not the best car on the grid, but we're getting ready for the restart now. 15th place, last of all the runners in the race, but don't despair because we are probably the only car in the field to have made their first pit stop, and we're going straight to the end of the race from here. So the race is only going to open up as the laps continue to progress. We took a very opportunistic dive towards one of the Toro Rossos, and now Kvyat is on his charge back at us, but we get him back up the inside in a very counter-attacking move back into P13, and hopefully we can continue the march up the order, which we are doing now. A lot of the midfield runners, including Lewis Hamilton, are into the pits as well. A Ferrari is in. I think that is Sebastian Vettel. So yeah, a lot of positions just gained there in that one straight alone, gone from P13 to P6, and a lot of cars in that train as well who did stop and will be chasing us down for the majority of this race to come. So I am ever hopeful of getting some points. No, we're probably not going to beat the likes of Lewis Hamilton or the Ferraris, but I'm hoping to beat the rest of the guys, like the Williams, the Force Indias, the Toro Rossos. That's who we're fighting today. Fernando decides to pit on the next lap as well, and he is going to fit on the medium tyres. He's actually the only guy in the field, apart from myself, to do the one-stop going from the softs to the mediums. Everyone else looks like they might be doing a two-stop because a lot of the other guys around us have put on the supers again. So that means they're going to stop an additional time after that. So who knows? We could be in contention to win this race or even get on the podium, depending on how many stops the front runners do. But unfortunately, we lost a spot there to Hamilton. We just got caught up on the curb there and just got sent a little bit wide off the ideal line, and that was the only invitation Hamilton needed. But it didn't last too long though. He made his stop on the very next lap, and that gave us the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. Can you believe it? In this McLaren Honda, we are actually leading for a lap, but unfortunately it didn't turn out to be a full lap as Valtteri Bottas took that glory away from us, and he goes back into the lead of the race. So with 8 laps to go, we're still in second place. Raikkonen has just made his final stop, and he's going to be chasing us down for the rest of this race. Sebastian Vettel will as well. I believe Lewis Hamilton will be in that mix as well. So yeah, we're looking really good. Podium, if not top 5. Team radio.
Fernando sat in P6, 6th place, so the gap to our teammate is 16.4 seconds. They're on old mediums. The time last lap was a 1 minute 34.9.
So just keeping tabs on Fernando, because he is on a similar strategy to me, and only, 10-12 seconds behind us as well on a similar tyre. He is faster, but we have much better track position. So we're just doing the best that we can with the strategy we've come up with. Yes, we're going to be slower than everyone else, but we have so much track position and a massive gap to the cars behind. So no points fighting with Raikkonen there. We know who we're fighting today. Actually, he runs wide and gives us the spot straight back, which is a little bit unfortunate. I don't want to battle with Raikkonen. The race with him is already lost. Same too with Lewis Hamilton. 6 laps to go. There's no way we can keep him behind for the rest of this race. He's 2-3 seconds lap quicker. There's no way you can withstand that kind of pace, especially with the straight line speed that we do have. There's no way we can keep him behind. We've just got to be realistic with our expectations and just try and run the fastest race we can. That's the best chance we have of getting a top 5 today. The next car behind us is Lance Stroll. Now, I do fancy myself against him, especially considering the gap that we have behind him, and by the time he does catch us, I think his tyres will be quite worn. So we'll see how we go. Our tyres are actually in really good shape. The mediums can run all day, and they're actually not too slow. So I'm really backing myself in here to at least get a top 5 in this Grand Prix. That is going to be the aim. 5 laps to go. Stroll is still a long way behind, but unfortunately I just heard some info from the engineer. He had some kind of problem. It was slowing him down. You can see a yellow flag just appears there in the final quadrant of the lap, and this is the problem. He got a puncture just after he got overtaken by Sebastian Vettel. So he is essentially out of the running for the points, and that's a free position for Fernando as he moves up into P6. So yeah, with 4 laps to go, we have Sebastian Vettel, who has chased down the gap from 5 seconds to literally nothing. Fernando is right behind Vettel as well, but a long way back. So it looks like we might have a double points finish here for McLaren Honda. We tried to defend against Vettel though, considering there is only 2 or 3 laps in the Grand Prix left. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for us. We dived to the inside to see if there was any kind of opening. Nothing emerged, and Vettel takes P4 away from us. So there we go. I think that's pretty much it. In terms of our race, the gap to Nando is huge. It's at least 12 seconds. So from here on in, I just decided to save the engine, save the gearbox, and just cruise home. This is one of the Toro Rossos getting around Nando, and he drops to P7, I believe. So Daniel Kvyat up to P6, Nando down to P7, and I don't believe anyone is entirely close to Fernando behind him as well. So fingers crossed, he makes it to the end. There's no retirements, there's no failures for him, and he should be able to get his first point of the season. Lewis Hamilton wins the Japanese Grand Prix, stole it away from Raikkonen and Bottas in the end. His pace was supreme, setting fastest lap after fastest lap. Us though, we're going to come home in a season-equaling 5th place in this Japanese Grand Prix. I honestly can't believe it. What an amazing result after an absolutely crazy race.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Brilliant stuff from Mercedes today. That's another historic win. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
I don't know what to say after all that. I really don't. The whole race was just madness. We should have been starting last. In effect, we got put up to 17th, and then at the end of the formation lap, we found ourselves starting inside the top 10. AI runners crashing into the safety car. All the AI pretty much stuffing up their strategy, and through all that, we found ourselves in 5th place. Just craziest race of the season, it's got to be. We had some really good moments as well, battling with, you know, the Toro Rossos, diving up the inside of like Valtteri Bottas a few times, and we had a lot of memorable moments. I really enjoyed that race, it must be said. We did the absolute maximum we could. I'm really glad we put on the fresh power unit components in the end there, because that really helped us in achieving the 5th place in the end. Now, consistency and just our pace, even though we were dead slow, we could have been even slower if we would have had a slightly older power unit on board. But in terms of the championship, we now move back into 12th place. I think we were like 15th or something like that before. So a good solid gain of points. Fernando got a few points as well, and he moves himself up into 18th, I believe, ahead of both of the Sauber drivers. Resource points, 350 for us. The magic number we're after is 800, and that will be another engine upgrade coming our way, possibly next episode, if we get the results that we're after. Rivalry update, we're thrashing Pascal Wehrlein at this stage. He has had some bad luck. He had a couple retirements, and he just hasn't been able to out-qualify us at this stage. But now team approval, that's literally 1 point, 2 points away from being in the purple zone and possibly being the first team driver. We now move forward to the US Grand Prix now, where we got our engine part upgrade. It actually passed. So today was a very lucky day, both in terms of, you know, results, and then also the upgrade actually working and going on the car. We are making some solid inroads now on the midfield runners, including Haas, Toro Rosso, Force India, all those guys. So come the end of the season, we might be right on them in terms of performance. So that is really, really encouraging. Just looking at the upgrades there, we're going 100% for engine power. We're not going after, you know, fuel consumption or you know, fuel efficiency, whereas other teams might be. That might be where they're so far ahead. But as long as we keep upgrading the engine power, we will be a lot closer to them than what it appears to be on the you know, chart right now, because yeah, a lot of them probably will have some like fuel efficiency upgrades, which makes them look better, but in theory, they might not be too much better than us after we get maybe the next major upgrade or even an ultimate upgrade. We might be, dare I say it, level with them or even faster than them in a straight line. But that's been this episode for today, guys. The Japanese Grand Prix. In the next one, we're off to USA, and hopefully we can have another exciting race for us as well. Fresh power units and fresh gearbox as well. So yeah, hopefully we can get a good quality position and move up with any grid penalties the AI might have. So that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and see plenty more F1 2017 content. Really looking forward to next season and potentially getting a whole boost of resource points to get us further up the order. Until then, guys, I'll see you next time.